So many of us are attracted to the idea of small space living and seeking out a better quality of life by reducing overheads. And today we're about to meet a woman who has done just that by building a beautiful tiny house for her family. Hi Bobbie, lovely to see you.
You too, Bryce.
And it is lovely to see your beautiful tiny home.
Yeah, thank you.
So first of all, what was it that actually inspired you to build a tiny house?
Wanting somewhere affordable, warm and dry for me and my kids after separation, so tiny house was the answer. And I didn't realise how long it would take to actually make it happen. But fortunately the universe aligned and a friend offered me finance, so I just jumped. It was meant to be.
Now, you actually have a background in architecture, don't you?
That's right, I studied architecture in Auckland. I worked in Asia for about 15 years doing architecture, very big projects, and I just really craved coming back home to build myself a house. So 20 years later, here we are. Yep.
Really interesting what you've done here with the raked wall.
Yep, that was to get extra space without extending the trailer deck. So my loft cantilevers out a little bit over there.
So what size is this tiny house?
The base deck of the house is 7.6 and it cantilevers out to about 9 metres at the top. So it's no more than 3.1 external width.
And then I really like what you've done here with extending the living space into the outdoors, and you've got some really cool container gardens happening here too.
This is my daughter's nursery, so she's planning a big business.
Lovely. And so this here is for rabbits, is it?
We used to have guinea pigs, but now it's the lizard's summer house. Blue spends sunny days out there. Yeah.
You've got a lizard in the house?
We do, yeah, a blue-tongued lizard. The kids will probably introduce you to him later.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
And you have found quite a beautiful parking space for the tiny house here as well, haven't you?
Yeah, very fortunate that I've been working with the owner on another project, so it was a very last-minute thing to see if I could actually join a friend to move on to the orchard, and it's just the perfect spot to be.
Yeah, because I see you're here with another tiny house as well, which is really cool.
Yep, little community.
Brilliant. And can you tell me a little bit about the materials that you've chosen for the tiny house?
Okay, so I've worked with cedar before, and I like the idea that I don't have to oil it. I love the silvering off of it. Being a nice light natural material, Japanese cedar from a local sawmill. The windows, I was really hoping to use timber, but we had such a short time frame. The only supplier I could get to make me windows in time was PVC. I was very hesitant with the big wide frames. I thought they're too chunky and clumsy, but I actually really love them. So I'm really happy with those.
And you've got these wonderful feature entrance doors as well.
Yep, they were a last minute purchase from a demo yard in Auckland, so I had to actually change the steel framing on site because it wasn't to the original design.
That is one of the challenging factors when you're working with steel, is that if you have to change anything on the design, it's so unforgiving, isn't it?
Yes, yep, but we made it.
Well, the house looks really great from the outside, and I am very interested to see what you've done inside. Should we check it out?
Come on in.
Thank you very much. Oh, this is lovely. What you've done here with the ceiling is really beautiful. That timber is gorgeous.
Yeah, this is reclaimed rimu that I bought from a demo yard in Christchurch. It was 60 thick boards by about 4 or 5 metres long. When I got it brought up here, the guy at the sawmill split it into 16 mil for the floor and 12 mil for the ceiling. So out of all those boards of rimu, we split into use for all the furniture you can see, the steps and the ceiling and the floor.
That is lovely. Rimu really is such a beautiful warm timber, isn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously, as an architect, you've had a lot of experience with a lot of different kinds of spaces. What was it like actually working on a tiny house project?
Well, I've done a lot of small space design in Hong Kong for very compact apartments. Typically, you'd have a whole family in 30, 40 square metres, maybe 2 generations even. So the key for me is really providing lots of storage, as invisible as possible, to maintain a sense of space, and trying to make space out of nothing. For example, my windows, which are cantilever mini bay windows, they're also shelves. And I know a lot of other designers use a lot of moving parts, which I think are amazing, but with young children, I didn't want to go there.
Fair enough too. And what you've done with that window there really is very clever, because it does act as storage, but it also really kind of just draws you into this part of the home, doesn't it?
This was actually designed as a day bed with storage underneath. You know, the idea that we'd all be lounging on top and with things that I didn't use that often were stored underneath. And that's the only thing I've really changed about the house. I thought I'd rather have open space than storing stuff we didn't need.
Right.
So I've shrunk it recently to over here, and we're really enjoying having just a beanbag nook at the moment for watching movies and things, nice and cosy.
Absolutely. And is that where the lizard lives?
That's where Blue lives. He's hiding right now, but he might come out later today.
Very cool. And again, you can really see here that in this space, you have built in a tremendous amount of storage, haven't you?
There's a lot of storage. Still, I could add more, but I feel like we're already seeing too much stuff, so I'm still on a constant effort to try to reduce what is in the house.
And then above us here, we've got your sleeping loft.
That's right, it's just basically a queen mattress sunken into the depth of the shelf there. I didn't need privacy, but in the case I do, I'd just add a curtain up there. But for now, I love it being open, and the kids usually spend time up there.
And it really is cool the way that you've created the access to the sleeping loft through these storage stairs there.
Yeah, that's it again, just being multifunctional, so looking good and serving a purpose.
Lovely open skylight.
Yeah, I think they really make the space so open. I could have even done without side windows or one of them, because it's just lets in so much light.
Yeah. And then over here we have your kitchen, and I really like what you've done here by adding the table in here as well.
Yeah, that was about having the workbench and dining table, and also somewhere for the kids to spread out and do their crafts and so on. Yeah.
And especially living in a tiny house together as a family, having a place where you can all sit down together and eat meals is so nice, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty important. And again, I didn't want moving parts, you know, things you had to convert every time you sat down, so it's always there.
Yeah. And so tell me about the design of the kitchen here and what you've got in terms of appliances.
So kitchen, basically I've got a double gas hob, because I love cooking with gas. In retrospect, I should have given it a bit more space so I can actually use a wok. There's not really enough room there for a wok. I have a dishwasher, which I really missed for 3 years before we moved in, so I'm glad I got a dishwasher. I don't have an oven because I don't bake or cook all that much. The kitchen storage is basically a toolbox.
Oh, right.
So once I discovered these, I just looked around all the supplies and found one that was perfect for us. And the most useful thing is a craft drawer for the kids where all their stuff goes. So there's always somewhere to put it.
That is such a good idea.
And I feel like I can sit here and I'm kind of in my cockpit and I don't need to move anywhere. You want some water? I need to empty the dishwasher. It's just like without even getting up.
Brilliant.
So we have fitted the plumbing for a washing machine in here, but for now I'm just using it as storage, and I use the laundromat. I'm hoping eventually when we're in a community we actually have a shared laundry.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And talking about the space here, you have built in, again, a lot of storage under the stairs here, haven't you?
Yeah, so they're 70 deep. I wanted to be able to hang things and also hang stuff on the door, so having that extra depth to have a layer of storage on the door, as well as the drawers and so on inside.
Great idea. And then behind here we have your bathroom.
That's right, it's pretty compact.
Oh, this is lovely. That door is a work of art. Where did you find that?
This is basically just water adhesive film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you just spray water on it and it'll stick, and it casts amazing rainbow light in the morning when the sun comes through.
Beautiful. This is quite a compact bathroom, but you've fit a lot of functionality into here, haven't you?
Yep. So this shub was actually lying on the street when I moved into my last place, and I thought that will come in useful because we'd just renovated and the first thing we got rid of was the shub. It was like, never again, that would have been so useful. So I saw this on the street and tucked it away for 3 years. So when I was actually designing the tiny house, the bathroom was designed around that shub.
It never ceases to amaze me, the things that people can just find lying on the side of the road.
That's right, yep.
Beautiful basin there.
Yep, I wanted something that was a bit of a feature in the bathroom and just got this on Trade Me. Chose it with the kids. The taps I ordered from China, so this is a sensor tap.
Oh, wow.
So that it's not dripping or left on by the children.
That is such a good idea.
Yep.
And then above us now we've got your kids' loft, but really, really nice stairs that you've designed to access that.
Yeah, they were hard work to make, but I think they're really worth the effort. They're such a feature, and again, function and looking good.
Yeah, again, really, really lovely use of that Remu timber, and
Yeah.
especially against the sort of modern look of the plywood walls and the stark white cabinetry. It just does a lot to warm up the space, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just beautiful that we've really maximised the amount of timber that I got and used it in so many places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then I love what you've done here with the climbing wall as well.
Yeah, that's one of the requests from the kids. They wanted climbing grips and monkey bars across the roof. So
Nice.
I think gradually, now that there's a bit bigger, I'll start adding a couple more so they could get across the whole wall. But I find them useful as hand grips for adults going up and down the stairs.
Yep, that's very true. Well, should we go upstairs and see the children's room then?
Yeah, please.
Oh, this is so cool. It's especially clever what you've done here by being able to actually fold the beds up, and then it creates all of this play space.
Yeah, so the idea is they can leave their mess out and fold the beds down on top of it.
And how did they adapt to living in the tiny house?
I think they love it. They think it's like a big cubby, basically. I've promised my daughter that one of us will have an extra space when she's a teenager. So whether it's me or him or her, we'll decide.
And I think that's something that's really important to remember about tiny house living, because just like any living space, it's adaptable over time. And if you need to add an extension or anything, you always have the ability to do that later.
Yeah, that's right.
So how long have you been living in the home now?
We've been here on the orchard almost 2 years, coming up August.
And are you enjoying life in the tiny house?
I love it. Yeah, I really love this house that we built.
Yeah.
But knowing it's not permanent spot, I'm always looking for where we're going to be permanently, but just really enjoying where we are for now. Yeah.
And so can you talk to me a little bit about the cost that was involved in building this home?
So I was kind of aiming for somewhere around 60 to 80,000, but in the end it's come out to about 140, I would say, plus a lot of my unskilled hours into that. Yeah. So that's probably added a year onto my repayments. But at the same time, I think, would I do anything differently apart from paying someone else to build it? No, I love all the materials and everything we've got in here. Having this small home for me and my family, to me, means freedom and comfort. And soon, the goal really is to have low overheads, which means I have choices in what I do with my time, where I need to make money and where I don't. And having less stress in our lives is the most important thing. It just gives you space to think about what else you can do with your time and your life and the people who matter and what matters to us. So I think time and freedom is something that money can't buy. It's a choice.
Well, Bobbie, you really have created such a beautiful home here. I love all of the functionality that you've put into it, and especially the way that you've given so much thought and attention to creating this as a place which is wonderful for your children and where you can all live together as a family. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
You're welcome.
Bobbie really has created such a wonderful home here for her and her children. Ultimately, it's about creating financial freedom. It's about creating a lifestyle of your choosing and making decisions that are based on what you truly innately want. And that really is a beautiful thing.